Welcome guys! Today we are going to learn more about graphs. In the past videos, we introduced different types of graphs and talked about how to interpret them. I highly recommend you to check those videos if you haven't done so. We often describe graphs in the following four aspects: center, spread, outliers, and shape. We also discussed the 5 most common shapes. In today's video, we're going to talk about clusters and gaps first. Let's consider this graph about the customer flow in a restaurant. If we ask, where's the center here? One may say, hey, the center is here, because it splits the graph into 2 roughly equal parts. Yes, but there's clearly something missing, because there are 2 major peaks over here and here. These are clusters. They are the natural subgroups into which the values fall. Therefore, instead of having the center here, we can say that there are 2 clusters centered at 1.5 and 4. Gaps, on the other hand, are holes where no value falls. If, for some reason, no customers come into the restaurant at 3, then this will be a gap on the graph. Some distributions have major peaks. The 2 we just talked about both have 2 major peaks. They are said to be bimodal. Some graphs only have 1 such peak. Then they are unimodal. The values under the peaks are the modes. For example, this mode over here is 1.5. Sometimes we sum the frequencies of the data, and this is where we need a cumulative relative frequency plot to visually show the results. For instance, in this graph about the customer flow, we see that 80% of the customers come into the restaurant in the first 4 hours of the opening. It is also very important to know how to translate between a normal graph and a cumulative relative frequency plot. Take these 2 graphs for example. The left one is just a normal graph about the customer flow in a restaurant, while the one on the right is the corresponding cumulative relative frequency plot. We can see that there is a peak at 1.5 on the left, and accordingly, the graph on the right rises very fast at 1.5. The same goes for 4. A cluster on the left means a steep slope on the right. However, there are fewer customers at 3 and 5, so the slope on the right is very small. Now recapping, today we learned about clusters and gaps and modes, which describe in detail about how the data are distributed. Then we discussed cumulative relative frequency plots and the relationship between a normal graph and a cumulative relative frequency plot. And that's all for today. See you in the next video. Bye!